between whether we will.
Oh, dear God. Now he's reading.
Have 4 more years of total failure, because what's going on now, we are a nation in decline.
Yes, I know. I don't know how much more decline we can decline. I decline to even say how much decline we're in. But nobody can watch sporting events anymore because it's just too sad. You know what I mean? Where they're running around and like the World Series is going to be played in flip-flops and everybody's going to wear a straw hat. It's so sad.
Failing nation. We're laughed at all over the world. No matter where you go, they laugh at us. They can't even believe what's happening. And I'll tell you what, she's worse than he is. And they do lie. I was just saying to Rick, the lies.
Were you? You were just saying to Rick? When was that?
They say the exact, I'll have like 10 different things where I'm this, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this. Everybody knows it. The media knows it. They do nothing to change it. And then they come out with a commercial saying exactly the opposite. I mean, things like, I'm in favor of, or let's say they even said.
Oh, wait. Okay. Sorry. He gets this confused. Listen to this. This is him fucking up. He doesn't know whether what their message about him. You'll see. Like, he doesn't know whether she's saying he's for something or against something. That there's allegedly an ad now that he's against fracking or something like that. And I think what he might be thinking of is like the either Midas Touch or the Lincoln Project making their frack Affleck ad about him just being a complete asshole. By the way, you're watching Hal Sparks Mega Worldwide. Like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show. The greatest live stream in the history of live streams. You're welcome. And we continue.
I'm in favor of, or let's say they even say it differently, I'm against fracking. That's the first time I've ever heard it.
Yeah, because it just happened in your fucking head, you weirdo.
Trump is against fracking. They do things that is just, and she's against fracking, but now she says she's for it. So I've had Hillary, I've had Sleepy Joe, I've had
again, honest to God, nobody knows what the ever-loving fuck he's talking about. Least of all him. Hold on one second. I'm trying to find something real quick. Cromert, that's what it is. Here's a song. Cromert. I'm trying to find yeah, where is it? Hold on. Oh, it'll be on YouTube, I think. Give me 1 second. I'm looking something up. Let me get this. What in the world is wrong with you? You strange thing. Okay, hold on. YouTube, go there. There we go. We truly are a nation in decline. Everything sucks. My big fat behind. No one loves you. Everything is sad. America in decline. Everything is so bad. Why? Oh, why? Oh, why? Oh, why? Oh, why? Oh, it sucks. was Harris. I tried to blame it on Harris, but they blame me instead. Oh, yeah. Whoa! All right. I'm sorry. It's just very upsetting. All right.
A lot of people that I've run against now. And, you know, on a different scale, I work with senators and trying to get them elected. We're doing very well. The Republicans, I think we could end up,
Yeah.
I don't want to use numbers, but we could end up surprisingly good, right, Rick? It could be a number that people would be shocked at if you would have said it even 2 months ago. And I'm helping all of them, every one of them. We had some great results. We've had some results that are really surprising.
So good.
But this is the one. This woman is the worst.
This woman,
the lying. It's just
the
unbelievable.
lying.
Like
It's terrible.
the IVF, the fertilization.
Oh, no, not the
totally in favor of it right from the beginning. She said,
Yeah.
I'm against it. Carlos, she goes, he's totally against it.
Oh, she said, how could you say that?
Item that having to do with energy, having to do with everything. And it just, and then she's got
everything.
that. The worst governor in the country, probably
The worst.
I think
Oh,
she
it's
made a horrible
terrible.
mistake. We'll see what happens on November
it's probably gonna
5th.
be awful,
Let's see what
whatever it
happens.
is.
But there's something wrong with him, honestly.
It's
There's
something
something wrong. And there's something
so
wrong with
wrong.
her, too. She's
Something's so
slow,
wrong.
Low IQ, something.
She
I don't know
is.
what the hell it is, but they lied. I've never, we
Nobody knows.
don't need another low IQ
No,
person.
we don't.
We had one for 4 years. We don't need another one.
No.
But, I mean, Crooked Hillary lied, but she didn't do it like this.
No, she didn't do it
She
like
wouldn't
this.
take things that were so
would
obvious.
take
and
things-
just say
no.
the opposite. They say the exact
No, just the opposite.
And as you
Yeah.
know, there are
I
15
do.
different elements of policy
Yeah,
that
15.
she changed.
He's just a liar.
In favor
Don't
of
say them.
sex changes for prisoners at their
Oh,
will,
it's a-
paid
well,
for by the government.
Yeah, and then
now she says,
and they'll even
"No,
come.
I don't think-"
They'll even, if you want, they'll come back. Like if you decide later you regret it, they'll put your penis back. She's for this. How is she for this?
That would be a good idea. She was
It would be a good
when
idea.
you talk about fracking. She said no fracking
Yeah.
under. I mean, we have
No.
25 commercials. We put
Yeah.
sometimes we put them on simultaneously.
Spent all these ads, all this money on ads, and what happened? What happened? Then she comes out for it. What are these ads good for? Nothing. It's terrible.
She's just, and now all of a sudden, I love fracking. I think it's wonderful.
Oh, I love bracket. Like we're gonna buy that, lady. Okay, we don't buy it.
Although today, though, it came out, they had a bad thing come out today.
It was terrible. The thing that came out.
People said she's essentially against fracking. And
Yeah, her people came out and said it, and she didn't even hear it. And they said it, and she basically today earlier, when nothing was happening, they said this.
it's very interesting when that came out.
It's so interesting.
It was
It's so fucking interesting.
sort of a big story. One of her top people
Was
said that because that's where they are.
Yeah, one of her top people said this, and then what happened? Then what happened? Did it become big news? One of her top people said it. One of like the top of the top people, like 3 or 7 or the top 25. I don't know.
Rick, that's where they are. They're against fracking. They're never gonna, and they're against anything having to do with what's under the ground. And that's what Germany just went through.
They are anything, worms, the zombie uprisings, anything that's under the ground. They hate the roots of trees and grass. Anything that's under the ground, they're like, fuck that. She's anti-cemetery. Anything that's under the ground. That's what she's against.
With what's under the ground, and
Yeah, she fucking hates that.
and they're against anything having to do with what's under the ground, and that's what.
You mean hell? Yeah. Okay. Hell is under the ground. It's below us. Okay. Heaven above. Hell is below. Yeah. You think we're against that? Ask one of the pastors there if he's for it. Is he for hell? Okay, then fine.
Germany just went through it. They almost destroyed themselves. They went into a situation where they were putting windmills all over the place, and the wind wasn't blowing so much. And if they kept that process going, Germany would right now be bust. That's I guess one of the primary reasons that Angela is not there anymore. They tried it. They had solar. They had solar fields that so
yeah, she lost her job because of windmills.
big. I mean, I saw a solar field come, and I'm in favor of solar, but it's not the same thing. It's got to fire up these massive plants. It's not going to. But I saw a solar field the other day that looked like it took up half the desert.
Yeah. And that's perfectly good desert. I mean, think of all the crops we could be growing there instead, or perhaps children's playgrounds. You know, there's so much we could do with that land. Just move the scorpions and put a roof on the place, I guess.
I never saw anything like it. It's all steel and glass and wires, and it looks like hell. And you,
yeah, you know. It's to get rid of all that smooth desert that, yeah.
see rabbits, they get caught in it, and for the
Desert rabbits. Yeah, it's killing all the desert rabbits. And you know why? Because they're hiding from the bald eagles that are avoiding the windmills so they don't get cancer. And they fly to the desert and they're like, oh, a rabbit. And then the rabbit hides under the solar panel and it focuses the sun and cooks the rabbit, which makes it not only delicious, but slightly smaller.
the environmentalists, it's just terrible. I like, some applications where you have it on a roof or you have it on something, but
Yeah, a roof or something, a hat maybe, those panels that you put on the front where you can charge your phone while you're walking around.
I'm looking at solar fields that are like miles and miles of just, and what it does to your desert areas or the areas that you're putting, it's just crazy. We have stuff right under the ground. Natural gas. We have.
Yeah, and you know what? No, I think everybody looks at an oil rig and goes, look at that. That's fucking gorgeous. Sure beats the shit out of a bunch of solar panels in a desert. What? Sorry. So you would prefer oil rigs in the Montana wilderness more so than solar panels in deserts where no one goes. All right. Okay. Just to clarify.
Things that we had the cleanest air that we've ever had during my administration, and
Yeah. Thanks, COVID.
yet we also had more jobs, more productivity.
No, that was the trade-off. Yeah, the reason you had the cleanest air was because the world had the cleanest air because all flights stopped.
We had the best numbers we've ever had. We had the lowest taxes we paid in America.
No, we haven't.
So we're in a race, and we're in a race with some very sick people. They're liars. They just lie. They lie about everything. And
Oh yeah, like what? I mean, it's pretty vague. I would say everything.
I was going to hit her really hard on the trail today, but now I don't have to because she's off. She's off.
You're. What do you mean? What do you mean? You got to react to what she says today as opposed to other stuff? What do you mean she's off? What, you were going to hit her really hard on the trail? What are you going to do? Run her fucking bus off the road like it's Texas?
No, I can't get over it. Who the hell takes off? You have 14 days left, and she'll take a couple of more days off too. You know why? She's lazy as hell, and she's got that reputation. She's
Yeah, no. I'm sorry. The dude who was golfing with like a mega donor, most of his the money he's making for his campaign right now comes from people that have like a triple $1 million net worth, and he golfs with them. And he doesn't even do fucking 18 holes. He does like 7 and blows off the rest of it and goes and have a fucking burger.
a radical left lunatic. She's further left than Bernie Sanders or Pocahontas. Now, Pocahontas, because I think, is Pocahontas further left than Bernie? Just about, right? It's close. It's close. Who the hell cares, right? Rick says, I don't know. But they're out there. But she's furthest left. We can't have a person. She's a Marxist. Her father's a Marxist professor. By the way, the fake news, look at all of them. Where is the father? We should interview, because I'd find.
She's a 60-year-old woman. I don't need to know what her parents think. Your mother hated you. She thought she was raising Hitler.
I find it interesting to see what he has to say. He's, I don't know.
Why? Why don't you just read his paper on Marxism along with his other papers about every other form of economics, because he's an economics professor.
They seem to have a problem, but it would be nice to interview the father. He's a Marxist professor, and I think that's okay. That's good, fine. But I think it's appropriate that the father be interviewed by the fake news. They don't want to interview him, and I wonder why.
Because she's an adult? I mean, I think that would be the primary one.
If we had a real press in this country, this wouldn't even be a race, and I'm not sure it is a race anyway.
You're right. You wouldn't even be in this. If we had a real press, they would have shut you down while you were still on The Apprentice for being buddies with fucking Jeffrey Epstein for 2 decades. If we had a real press.
They just came out with the Atlanta Constitution, just came out with a poll that we're 5 up in Georgia. We're up and let's see what happens, because it all doesn't matter, because, you know, bad things happen. Some very, very bad things happened last time. And but this time we don't have COVID, and it's going to be a lot harder for them to do bad things. So we're going to see. We have tremendous people. We have a lot of lawyers working. We have lawyers working, numbers of lawyers that nobody's ever seen before, because we're not going to play games. Because
yeah, you know, by the way, you know what his lawyers are going to do?
We're going to lose.
You know what his lawyers are going to do? They're going to stand there and watch him lose. Just like all of his asshole, election watchers that they're having on the Republican side. You know what those assholes are going to do? They're going to sit there and watch piles and piles of votes come in for her. And they're going to go, what the fuck is happening? How is Trump losing this badly? That's what's going to happen.
Lose our country. Our country's failing. We don't know what we're doing.
Yes, it's true. Our country is failing. Why is it so bad? Oh, why is it so failing badly? Nation in decline.
We're laughed at all over the world.
That's because whenever he calls one of these leaders, they laugh and hang up.
President Xi thinks we're stupid.
Yes, but on the one hand, he means you, and on the other hand, he himself is stupid.
Putin thinks we're stupid. That would have.
That would have never happened. Tell us the story what you told the Wall Street Journal. About how you threatened to nuke Moscow.
Never happened. Putin, if I were president, Putin would have never, ever gone into Ukraine. Now we have
For those of you who don't know, he told the Wall Street Journal that he was going to nuke frickin' Moscow, that he would bomb Moscow if they attacked Ukraine. And needless to say, no, he didn't.
Number of dead people that's so much greater than what they say. They knocked down an apartment house that's 2 blocks long. They're big buildings in Ukraine, 2 blocks long and 20 stories high, and they say 1 person was slightly injured. No, many people were killed when they did that.
They do evacuate places. You are aware of that, right? You do know that they are capable of evacuating human beings from that area, that they don't just, I don't know, maybe you would, but they actually tell their citizens to flee.
And these towns and cities all over Ukraine are knocked down. Millions of people. I mean, when you look at the total number of dead from that war, and it would have never happened, should have never happened. There was 0 chance. His energy policy also helped it happen, because he drove energy through the roof, because he doesn't know what the hell he's doing. And if you look at now, Israel, October 7th, that would have never happened. But
oh, by the way, what he means there is that Putin made money off of the price of oil going up after COVID, when the whole world came back online and people were using fuel again, and everybody was fighting to get access to fuel as the economy started up again, and the price of oil and gas and other stuff rose precipitously as people started moving again. And apparently the world coming out of lockdown gave Russia a bunch of money so that they were like, hey, what a great idea. Why don't we just attack Ukraine? Which apparently, I guess they should have waited a year until they had accumulated more money because they're doing shitty and they've lost, 800,000 soldiers.
But if Bibi Netanyahu followed the plan of Biden, he didn't want him to do anything. And a bad thing happened today. You probably heard. Now, the
bad thing. Remember the bad thing? I don't know. Sorry, I missed that bad thing when I was thinking about the other bad thing that they said that was a bad thing that should have come out that wasn't covered.
press isn't covering it very much, which is just incredible.
It is incredible. What was the bad thing?
Possibly our Defense Department or somebody. Anyway, it was leaked. The entire military plan of Israel. The military plan.
Right.
The plans they have at the highest level, it was leaked. Highly.
Also, by the way, maggots are going to do what maggots are going to do. Hold on. Let's see. DOD leak of Israel war plans, I guess, will be the primary one. Now, was it their plan? Hold on. Hold on. Let me see. Scroll this down. Boom. Okay, here it is. This would be, let's see if I can scroll this down for you. Maybe later. This is what he's referring to, by the way, and I think this is kind of crucial. The FBI announced Tuesday it is investigating an alleged leak of highly classified. By the way, this is in the mainstream news and is all over the place. Yeah, but this is the story. The entire military plan of Israel announced Tuesday it is investigating an alleged leak of highly classified U.S. intelligence documents days after assessments containing information about Israel's potential plans for a retaliatory attack on Iran were published on an Iran-linked Telegram account. The FBI is investigating the alleged leak of classified documents, working closely with our partners in the Department of Defense and intelligence community. As this is an ongoing investigation, we have no further comment. White House National Security spokesman John Kirby told reporters Monday that it is unclear whether the documents were made public through a leak or a hack. He said the government does not expect additional classified information to be made public without authorization. Earlier this month, Iran fired a barrage of nearly 200 ballistic missiles. Kirby said Monday President Joe Biden is deeply concerned about any leak of classified documents. Hey, what do you think the odds are that these are older documents and that they may have ended up, I don't know, photocopied at Mar-a-Lago at some point? That is not supposed to happen. It's unacceptable when it does. And you can rest assured that he will be actively monitoring the progress of investigation efforts. Said Biden administration has been in communication with the Israeli government about the disclosure. The intelligence assessment shows the U.S. government believes, and this is again, is it their plan? No, it's what the U.S. government has assessed as their plan. Is preparing a major strike against Iran that would be retaliation for a massive Iranian ballistic missile attack on October 1st. The Biden administration has urged them to carry out only a limited response. U.S. officials have been pushing Netanyahu to focus on Iranian military targets, not Iran's energy infrastructure sites related to its nuclear program, which would be far more sensitive. Any attack on Iran's oil facilities could also roil the election by creating a spike in energy prices. The leaked assessment focused on U.S. observations of Israeli airfield activity on Tuesday and Wednesday of last week that it said it were consistent with exercises to engage in long-range strikes that involve air-to-air refueling, something that would be necessary if Israeli fighter jets were to launch strikes on Iran. Is it Israel's plan? No. Is it the U.S.'s potential beliefs about said plan that they might be doing it? Perhaps. Is it something that they would think no matter what if Israel was running those same exercises? Yeah. Okay.
Confidential information. It was leaked by our somebody. They have no idea who did it.
Our somebody.
Can you imagine you're fighting a war and you have your Americans, Carlos, can you imagine anything like that? Did you hear this? You know, they leaked all the information about the way that Israel's going to fight and how.
No, it's not. It's our assessment that whatever the leak was, it was not their actual plans. It was what we think their plans might be, kind of different.
They're going to fight and where they're going to go. And somebody, who did that? Can you imagine?
Gee whiz, I don't know.
Somebody doing that?
I don't know. It sounds like somebody you left in there.
That's the enemy. I guess that maybe is the enemy from within. As I talk about, we have an enemy from within. They hate.
Yeah, Yeah, it's like when you, after a piece of your teleprompter hit you in the ear in Butler, Pennsylvania, and you went fight, 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 and it turned out the person you were yelling fight, fight, fight about was a registered Republican.
To talk about it, but could you imagine? Could you imagine? So we just can't stand for this incompetence anymore. We are an incompetently run country. We are led by a man that, first of all, look, I'm not a fan of his.
This is the 14 million votes, and he should have, and it was a coup, and
But
yada
what
yada.
they did to him was incredible. He had 14 million votes. He won the primary fair and square. He had 14 million votes, and they came to.
Yeah, she's his running mate, and she's the vice president. And unlike you guys, we don't jettison or attempt to murder our vice presidents.
They said he had a bad debate. He didn't do well, and his numbers went down. But I think he would do, probably in the end, he might do better than her because she's more incompetent than he is. I think she's grossly incompetent. And
again, based on what? This is so weird. Like, I get it. I get that he's got to run on something. But yeah, but this is such weak sauce.
I don't want to be nice about it because we can't take a chance. Nobody knows who she is. You say Harris. Her name is Harris. Who the hell
Yeah,
is Harris?
she's the sitting vice president of the United States, Grandpa.
Nobody, even political people don't know. Rick Scott has no idea who the hell Harris is. No, people don't know who
Is he currently being denied oxygen?
Harris is. But now they're finding out that she's a radical left lunatic, and we.
Are they finally? They're finally finding out. Shit! They better figure it out quickly. She's only got a couple of weeks left.
We can't take a chance on losing this election because if we lose this election,
You're going to.
we may not have a country anymore. We may not. We never.
Well, in all fairness, listen to the guy. When he says, if we lose this election, we may not have a country anymore, he means him and his family. He may have to flee the country to avoid jail time. And that's as close as you can get to being a man without a country. He might have to buy, I don't know, citizenship in Cyprus like everybody else.
And I've heard this from a lot of very smart people that are very straight down the middle. They say, we may never have an election again in this country.
Yeah, they're talking about you.
This is where we're going. I used to say that if we don't do something, we all know what's happened with Venezuela. This was 20 years ago, one of the great countries of the world, and now it's troubled, to put it mildly. And I said would be Venezuela on steroids, meaning a bigger version. That can happen.
I see. It would be a bigger version. That's what on steroids means. So thicker.
Who would think it can happen? But I see it because I see the people that we deal
You do.
with. And these people they don't love our country. They don't love our country. And we're going to do something about it, but we have to win the election. So, when they get up and they lie about every single thing, they tell you, they know your position. And in my case, it's been my position for many years. One of the people said,
Wait a minute. You mean being pro-choice or?
the other night on television, he's a great guy, Jesse Waters, he said, whether you like Trump or not, his position's been the same for 30 years. I mean, it's been the same. I want strong borders. I don't want foreign countries to rip us.
Oh, no. Longer than that. He's been a racist his entire adult life. I mean, look at the Central Park Five. Look at him and his dad not renting to black people. Like, that's been pretty consistent. Being anti-immigrant because you're a racist doesn't get you any fucking points. And being against immigration because you're racist specifically. And by the way, don't let this like sitting in with this group make you think that he thinks they're equal. All of the folks that are at this gathering view themselves as white. You ever see that non-white Hispanic stuff or whatever? Yeah, these people do not check that box. They consider themselves white as well. They're about as brown as Ted Cruz, Canadian-born Ted Cruz, right? Having a Spanish last name or a Spanish-sounding last name is not the same as being somebody who walks from fucking Guatemala to try and cross the border to get a job picking strawberries. And these people are the ones who got in and want to pull the ladder up after themselves.
Max, We're being ripped off by everybody, and our friends do it worse than our enemies. It's incredible. We had that very well going, and
we did have that very well going. By the way, thoughts and prayers to the Spanish interpreter who is having to do this event. If you start feeling woozy and smelling almonds, it's not your fault.
did a good job on.
There is no way to translate this gibberish into any other language but gibberish.
That, but we're going to do the ultimate job. We're going to bring a lot of those jobs back. I think we're going to bring more than we lost back, and it's going to happen very fast through.
Why? When the future is automation, why? Again, what are you going to do? Pack up one of those fucking car plants in Mexico your friend builds that has like 9 human beings working in it and is completely automated and the whole thing works when you throw a switch? You're going to move that to what? Michigan? So it'll have 3 jobs instead of 9 and it just draws from the power grid?
Intelligent taxation, tariffs, and incentives, and you're going to have companies pouring into our country, and they're going to be very happy. I think that's why I'm doing so well in Michigan. That's why the auto workers like Trump so much. You know, their union head is a stiff. He's a total stiff. He has no clue. He has no clue. He wants to go all electric, and all electric cars. Yeah.
Look at this dude. Like, this guy fixes his tie the entire time, and he's just in charge of shaking his head and doing, I guess, the weird. I guess it's the New World Order vagina. Is that the Illuminati vagina that they all do in front of their crotch? That's what they called it when Obama did it. When Trump does it, for some reason, it's just, something to do with your hands.
You know, they want to have all electric cars, and they're wonderful. I think they're great. They have an application, but we want gasoline-propelled cars. We want...
No, we do not. No. We internal combustion engines is what you're talking about. These things are not propelled by fucking gas. You asshole. Propulsion would mean that you have a jet on the back of the car that burns gasoline. It's not propelled at all. As a matter of fact, it pushes the pistons out, and that energy is translated. That mechanical energy is translated into other movement in the vehicle that turns the wheels that go a different direction than the fucking pistons themselves, which go perpendicular to the fucking wheels. You do realize that. It doesn't chug like this, you fucking weirdo. It's not gas propulsion, idiot.
Hybrids. We don't want hydrogen max.
Yeah, hybrids. What is that? Hemp bread? Hybrids? Hybrids. This motherfucker.
We want gasoline-propelled cars. We want hybrids. We don't want...
We do not want hybrid, and we do not want gasoline-propelled cars. I don't need a fruitcake made with pot gummies, you absolute tit.
Hydrogen, Max, because they blow up and you are no longer recognizable, Max. This guy owns more gas.
Also, has this asshole ever seen one of the lithium-ion battery fires? Has he ever seen a fucking 80s movie where somebody shoots the gas tank on a car?
Stations and any guy. He owns so many gas stations, he doesn't know what to do with them, right?
Gee, I wonder why he'd be against other forms of fuel, especially renewable ones.
And he's a great American too, by the way.
Yeah, so I'm sure he's, because America's hurting, he's lowering the cost of gas to help, his fellow Americans, right? I'm sure he's charging lower than his competitors, even though he's making a healthy profit, to guarantee that, the working people of America can use his gas station. No, he's not doing that at all. Weird.
It started with nothing, and he's a very successful man. And he's a great man. So I just want to thank
old what's his name.
So I just want to thank you all. We can't play games with these people. These are people that are dangerous people. And again,
dangerous games.
Hillary and Biden. Now, Biden didn't tell the truth very much, but he was much better than this one. This one is just an outright, I've never seen anything like it. Point after point after point, and then they do ads and they just say this stuff. And I just wonder, I hope the public is understanding it. I hope, because I found the public to be amazingly smart. They get it. I found it to be amazing that they get
Have you, though?
it. But the level of lying is just incredible.
Well, then why worry about it?
Well, I mean, to a point where I can't even imagine it's legal.
Wait a minute. He's not about to make the case that it should be illegal to lie about your opponent in a political race,
I was
right?
asking some of these lawyers, some of the top guys, I said, can they absolutely, 2 weeks before an election, go out and do an ad where every one of your policies are the exact opposite? Isn't that election interference, and isn't that fraud? And isn't there a court that can do something about that? But the
If there was, you'd be in jail. What the fuck? Dude, you keep calling her a Marxist. Like that'd be cut and dry. You do you want to do 90 days for every day you called her a Marxist? For every incident, you fucking weirdo?
The end result is, we can talk about it here and people can listen and they understand it. I think
Oh yeah, they probably are. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about it.